So I want to show you something. I'm going to show you this right here. This is a Chrysler 300G that a buddy of mine bought that I am now working on. Now, you can't tell from this picture, but this car had a moldy interior, bad transmission, it had no brakes, and now the creme de la creme, the engine is no good. Now, nobody caught this before the car was purchased. And the guy that bought the car doesn't know much about cars. And he made a mistake that I've seen over and over and over again in this hobby. So today I want to go through five mistakes that with you, because some of them, they'll cost you a few $100, some will cost you a few thousand, and some will just cost you the complete love of the hobby. So here's the thing. None of the five mistakes are exotic. They're not rare. They're not one in a million things. No, these are the same five mistakes that are made over and over and over again. And the reason that the hobby turns from great fun to a money pit for a lot of guys. 6 mistakes. I'm sorry, there's probably 10. No. 5 mistakes today. So mistake number 1, and this is a newer one, financing your classic car. Now, I talked about this in a previous video. I'll link it above and I'll put it in the description below. Go check it out if you haven't. Here's the thing I want you to take away from this. Because it was brought up in the comments. This isn't about, what happens to the cars, if you don't make payments. This is that debt is being used to purchase classic cars. And that is not a great thing. What this is doing is that it's going to cause a big problem as we go down the road. So I ran the numbers in the video. Let me pull them right here. I'm going to put them up on the screen. If you have an $89,000 car with $10,000 down for 84 months, 7 years, at 8.49% interest, you know what that comes out? That's $1,268 a month. That's a mortgage. The interest, over 26 grand in interest. The real cost of that car is north of $115,000. Now, that is before you even do insurance or repairs or anything to the car. And this isn't just isolated one finance company I picked. This is a very similar pricing throughout the industry. So that is a big pitfall right there. Mistake number 2 is huge. Not having a mechanic look at a car before you buy it. And I'm telling you, the guy with the Chrysler 300G, he's the best example in the world. The car had a bad transmission, it had bad brakes, it had a bad engine. He could see the moldy interior, but he knew how to fix that, so he was like, I can do that. The rest of the car presented as well. All these other problems were invisible. So now, I'm not a professional mechanic, but I do these types of things for cars. And, you pay me $150, $200 plus travel, and I can go look at a car and tell you if you're going to have problems. And I can save you probably, 20, 30, 50 times what you paid me trying to make that car a better car, like this current owner is. Now, you wouldn't buy a house without an inspection. Why in God's name would you buy a 50-plus-year-old car that costs tens of thousands of dollars without having it professionally inspected? Why? Now, mistake number 3. Not having a place to put your car after you buy it. Now, the first part of this is if you buy a fully restored car and you don't have a place inside your house to put it, like your garage, like I do, and you just stick it outside underneath a car cover, you now have a project in waiting because that car will degrade over time. They're sitting outside is not good for cars. But Dennis, I can rent a storage facility. Thank you, fictional commenter. Yes, storage facilities. Let's think about the storage facilities. Well, first of all, you have the monthly cost on them, which always goes up. And it's a pretty good nut now to actually get a car-sized storage place indoors. Second of all, they're not very well ventilated or climate controlled. So in the winter, it is an ice cube maker, and in the summer, it's a sauna. Not very good for your classic car. And finally, let's talk about security, or lack thereof. That little padlock you put on there, that's not going to stop anyone. Not if they want that car. That gate security, same thing. That car could be gone before anybody realizes it's gone. So not having a car where you can keep an eye on it, not a great idea. A solution to this is, A, if you can, build a place to store your car where you live, or if you have a relative that you trust a lot, like your mom or your dad, put it at their place, until you can get a place of your own. But do not leave the car outside. Mistake number 4. Buying a car with hard-to-find parts, and you haven't done any research. Before you buy a car, you need to know, can I get parts for this? And if I can get parts, are they really, really expensive? You can be like the guy with the Chrysler 300G, and you can spend months looking for a brake drum. And then it costs, well, $600 when you find it. I've been hunting Mopar parts for a very long time. Some cars, like Challengers, everything's reproduced. And they're relatively cheap, they're easy to get, and there's no problems with it. And if you weren't, in other cars like this 300G, any C-body, any Chrysler C-body or an AMC, if you weren't stockpiling parts for the specific car before you got it, there's a high chance you won't be able to find any parts for the car, or you're going to pay through the nose for those parts for that car. That is just a fact. And when if you do find parts, you're going to pay 10 times. That's just the way that it is right there. So if you got a buddy that's about to go and buy a rare car, share this video with him, so maybe he can start planning ahead when he starts needing things for that car, and could save him, months of heartache looking for, a brake drum or a master cylinder. Now, mistake number 5, and this one is big. It's underestimating the actual cost to finish a restoration. And I want to be really clear, this is the reverse of the first problem where you finance a car, because hopefully you're not financing a restoration, good God. This is basically, you bought a car, you see the potential, and you want to go fix it up. This is where you get blindsided down the road, because now you're realizing that it's becoming a money pit. Now, I broke this down in 2024 in detail, and I did parts, labor, all the things you need to do to restore a car. And I used a very common car, a Roadrunner. Now, this is a common car. Parts are readily available for this. And it was $57,000 to $67,000, somewhere in that range. And here's some graphics from it. And I'm also going to put the little link up there. And I'm going to put the link below to this video. It's pretty important. Now, that's the whole game right there. It's not one big number that gets you. You basically have death by 1,000 cuts when you're restoring a car without having a full game plan. So if you're new here, this is what we do. We go over real numbers. I work in a real garage. That's really my car, and I don't sugarcoat anything. So stick around. So let's bring this all together. So you finance do not finance a car you can't sustain. Get the car inspected before you purchase it. Make sure you have a place to put the car before you buy it. You have to have an idea of parts for that car, because every car needs parts. And then finally, have a realistic budget for restoring that car, because that's a lot right there. So those are 5 mistakes for now, and that's the whole list. So I want you to do something for me. I want you to drop comments below, and which, if any of these mistakes you've made or you've seen being made. Now, there's no judging. I've made a couple of these mistakes, and If you have a buddy with a classic car, you probably want to share it with him. So, especially if he doesn't have a classic car, if he has a car or doesn't have a classic car, you probably should share it with him, because this could probably, give him a lot of things that he never thought about when he was trying to buy that car. Because I don't want you to know a guy like I do with that Chrysler 300 who bought a car with no brakes. So if you have a cool car or something fun to drive, take it out. You'll make someone's day. It'll probably be your own, and I'll catch you in the next one.